Good Tuesday morning, everybody. I'm getting ready to set up for the morning briefing. Some pretty heavy surf here this morning in Surfside, California. We have got a lot to talk about. We're going to talk about the weather, how that is all going. What's that yellowfin tuna that is located 150 miles below the border doing? How's our bluefin tuna bite? What about our local situation? Island showing some promise. And is this weather going to give us a break? How about water temperature here on the beach this morning? Let's check it out right now because it's been feeling like it's pretty darn warm. Has all of this wind taken its toll? I'm going to tell you right now that water feels cooler. It definitely has reduced in water temperature, maybe about 63, still holding strong. All right, it's time for me to set up for the MB before I get hit by one of these big waves. Have a great morning, and you know what's coming next. The morning briefing.
Just check out those bluefin tuna off Ensenada, Baja California, Mexico, as the fall bite 2024 has been awesome. Now let's go 160 miles down below the border. Another big yellowfin tuna hitting the deck. The yellowfin tuna bite has been phenomenal on 50 to 100 pound yellowfin tuna. Look at the legend as she unloads another magnificent catch, and check out the quality of those yellowfin tuna. Those yellowfin have been biting on 80-pound fluorocarbon with 1.0 and 2.0 Mutu hooks, working really good. Circle hooks to be exact, and a good hot bait makes all the difference in the world. Those clear poppers have also been effective, as well as Daiwa Sakana lures. The weather's up right now, but you can see we've got a lot to look forward to.
No!
Hurry!
Holy
shit! Guys, no! Oh my god!
Oh my god! Was that a red?
God. Oh my god! What?
Holy shit, dude. That was a black drum.
Hey, before we get rolling, you can show your love and help Friedman Adventures produce more content by purchasing some Friedman Adventures merchandise right now. Just go to embroiderycreations.net, purchase some Friedman Adventures merchandise, and you'll be helping us to produce more content. As always, I deeply appreciate all your love and support. Thank you so much. Hey, good morning, my dear friends, and welcome to beautiful Surfside, California. This lovely Tuesday morning here in Southern California. It is absolutely beautiful. Not a breath of wind here this morning. Some pretty heavy surf back there behind me, but it looks much nicer. The weather is supposed to calm down. We're going to check out that yellowfin tuna south of the border. There's been some bluefin tuna near Ensenada. There's also bluefin out there around Tanner Cortez Bank and the Cherry Bank, which is located near San Nicolas Island. What's going on with that? We've had a few local halibut, some excellent big rockfish, and the weather's supposed to come down tomorrow. You know what time it is. It is time for the morning briefing. Good morning, my friends. Oh my God. Is that good? And am I feeling blessed to be here? What a gorgeous sunrise. It is a glorious morning here this morning, and I hope it finds you all really well. If you don't mind, hit that like button. We deeply appreciate your love and support here. Purchase some Friedman Adventures merchandise that helps us to produce new content for you. And also, don't forget, subscribe to the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel. And when you do, tick that little bell. You'll be notified when there is new content. Also, you can follow us over on Facebook, Friedman Adventures, Instagram, Friedman Adventures, and yeah, Friedman Adventures on TikTok, Spotify, and Apple Podcast. Appreciate all the great support you give us every single day. It is deeply appreciated. All right, we have got a lot to talk about. Hey, I want to show you a lure that somebody has got to fish on the 4th of July. These gyro lures, I got to tell you, check out the Gyro Tomahawk. Limited edition. If somebody doesn't fish that on the 4th of July, I don't know what I'm going to do. But man, I mean, you get to show your patriotism for the greatest country on the face of the earth and catch a big old bluefin or a big old lingcod or something like that. Gyro lures also produce these assist hooks that glow in the dark. Great stuff. And I can't thank them enough for sending that over to me. And that is Mark and Melissa, Jeremiah Upshaw. They sent those over. Thank you so very, very much. Can't wait to try those jigs out. They look like they're going to get slammed. And of course, if you go to gyrolures.com, they have a lot of other product that I think you're going to like. All right, let's talk south of the border, and let's start on the long range scene. And first of all, we've got to wish somebody a really happy 1,000 days. 1,000 days of long range fishing, and it goes to our friend David Rouse, aka Soda Pop, more affectionately known as Soda Pop. He got to celebrate 1,000 days of long range fishing on the Independence. They threw a nice party for him, well deserved, and I can't wait to fish with Soda Pop again. I had the opportunity to do so, and I got to tell you what a really nice human being David is. So really well deserved 1,000 days on the long range. And as long as we're talking long range, let's talk what's been going on down there 500 miles or so, and even closer than that, and even a little bit further than that, as these 8 to 10 day boats out of San Diego have been running down the Baja coast and putting the wood to the wahoo, to the yellowfin tuna, to the yellowtail. It has been a spectacular long range season. It's been going on for months, and it has been steady, great fishing on just about every single trip they've had out of San Diego on all the boats out of there. Here recently, the Royal Polaris had great fishing on the Who and the yellowfin tuna and the yellowtail, catching some big links on the way home. Independence has been putting the wood to the fish with great yellowfin tuna fishing, limits of yellowfin tuna, some big yellowtail, and also some really excellent wahoo fishing. And on the way home, these boys, as I mentioned, the Royal Polaris did some rockfish drifts and caught these big links. Other times, like the Independence here recently, they've caught white sea bass, calico bass, sand bass, almost like a springtime bite in Southern California, which is kind of cool. You almost step into a time machine when you jump on one of these long-range boats and go down into the warmer water. It is really cool and excellent long-range fishing going on. Don't forget, we've got a 5-day trip on the Independence. Maybe Soda Pop will be on that trip. We'll be on board there in April, and you should join us. Give Paulina a call this morning and join us on that great trip. So really good fishing going on. Cedros Island, you've got to fly in there. You do that with Cedros Sport Fishing, and the yellowtail bite there has been spectacular. Also, there's been some halibut, some big calico bass. It's been really great fishing as this glorious sunrise manifests itself on an absolutely beautiful morning here in Surfside, California. So some good fishing there at Cedros Island. Bumping you up off San Clemente, there's yellowfin tuna, and it has been spectacular. About a 15-mile journey south for the guys that operate out of San Clemente, like K&M Sport Fishing and many other great operators, and it's been beautiful fishing on 50 to 100 pound fish. Weather is up right now. It's just way too nasty, but it's going to come down tomorrow, and I'll have more on the weather in just one more moment, because we've got to look at the entire situation to make sure we're going to be okay. So really great fishing on yellowfin. There's some bluefin also mixed with it. The yellowfin are biting more voraciously. They are picking up some big bluefin, however, also 50 to 100 pound class BFT mixed with the YFT. Really great fishing going on up in Ensenada, close to home. We continue to see some pretty good bluefin tuna shows going on. It doesn't always bite, but there's been some excellent signal on it. The weather's up there. Also here this morning, blowing about 18 knots offshore early here this morning, and it's going to get a little nastier as the day goes on, but it's going to come down tomorrow. Also in closer to home in Ensenada, which is a 70-mile drive south of the border. It's only 70 miles to get down there, and you're finding really great rock fishing on the local scene down there in beautiful Ensenada, Baja California. All right, let's talk Whoa! I thought I was going to get doused there. Let's talk about that yellowfin tuna because many of the San Diego based boats have been running down there. Now, it's fishable for the long range guys in the current weather that's going on, but it's downright nasty and it's very difficult to work in. My major preoccupation about all this wind is what kind of a hit that water temperature is going to take, as yellowfin tuna prefer warmer water. 68 degrees is what the water temp has been, and that yellowfin's been in it and biting full speed really, really well. Actually, yellowfin prefer a little bit warmer water, but they're hanging in that because it's the warmest water in the region right now. I hope that water temp doesn't take a hit. Only time will tell. We'll watch it closely. Now, that YFT's been biting heavy, heavy fluorocarbon. Our friend John Garma fishing 80-pound fluoro. He said a guy got bit on 100-pound straight mono in that bite. 1.0 to 2.0 size circle hooks, Mutu circle hooks have been working really, really well, and a good hot bait. John said the bait was really, really big, and he found that the medium-sized Dean got bit for him really, really well. It's been excellent fishing, as you can see down there in that neck of the woods, and high hopes we're going to return to it because it's been spectacular. Boats on 2+ day trips down there have been doing good. In fact, the Apollo, Ranger 85, Polaris Supreme are 3 boats that were either around 100 fish for their 2.5 to 3 day trips or over 100 fish. I think the Polaris Supreme had 111 on those fish, mostly 50 to 80 pound yellowfin tuna, beautiful grade of fish. Those clear poppers have also been super effective on that yellowfin. And man, when you're fishing a popper on YFT, the beautiful part of that is seeing them blow out on that jig. It's so exciting. Your heart will skip a beat when that YFT comes up and boils and blows out on that popper as it moves across the surface of the ocean. Really great visual for you all. Also, those Colt Snipers, Daiwa Sakana, shiny, smaller lures have been working really, really well also. So really great stuff indeed. No question about that. All right, as we take a look now at our bluefin tuna zone offshore, way out there, about 80 miles or so, Tanner Cortez Bank and Cherry Bank, which is located closer to San Nicolas Island, that is to say west of where the Tanner Cortez banks are. That bite had slowed previous to the weather being up. The weather's just way too nasty out there right now, and I'll get into the weather right now with you all, but out there it's just way too nasty. The environment, namely the ocean's water temperatures, is going to take a hit, but that bluefin tuna has shown great resilience over the past several years with regard to a drop in water temperature. You might see a temporary lull in the bite, but it comes roaring back every single time. And that bluefin tuna seems stuck up here in this neck of the woods. It wouldn't surprise me to see it bite right on through the new year. So hang on. We'll see what happens once this all lays down and gets a little bit calmer, as it's starting to become high tide here in Surfside, California, as perhaps you'll be able to see the wave that's going to douse me before I do. Make sure you let me know in a comment down below so I can start running for the house. So really, really good signal out there. But as I mentioned, it had tailed off and become quite slower. Now, around that same area, we have seen some really excellent rock fishing. San Nicolas Island, which I'll get into in greater detail in a moment, has been great. So you're able to top off with some rockfish if the tuna don't want to bite. But we're kind of on hold. All right, weather. Going to come down for Wednesday. It should be really a nice day. And then we're going to get a stretch of kind of breezy weather at times to halfway decent weather to calm weather, and then kind of going on this roller coaster. I'm talking about from the Channel Islands all the way down there to San Quintin, 140 miles below the border where that yellowfin tuna is. So we're going to still be dealing with some breezy weather and then some really nice weather. Wednesday will give us a little bit of an opportunity, so we'll keep our fingers crossed that things are going to come together, as it's going to lay down quite a bit. Hey, if you're having tax problems, you need to call our buddy Tim Marquez at A Best Income Tax. Tim will handle it all for you and for your heating and or air conditioning needs. It is, of course, John Lopez. Buenos dias, Valentino, at Efficient Heating and Air Conditioning. Valentino threw me for a loop there All right, so really, really great stuff going on. Let's talk islands right now, and we'll start at the Coronado Islands, where we've seen some spectacular yellowtail action. 42 yellows, I think it was, on the last trip to San Diego made there. They're laying in again today because of the windy weather, but they'll be out tomorrow on a private charter. And then Thursday, Seaforth Sport Fishing and the San Diego have room for you on an open party trip. Lots of fly line yellowtail right now, 25 to 30 pound fluorocarbon with good hot bait, really doing you well. There's been some surface iron fish. There's been occasional yo-yo iron and dropper loop fish also. A lot of the guys that were dropper looping here recently were catching lingcod and rockfish in the same area. So you will catch something on the dropper loop, but if you're focused in on the yellowtail, unless things have changed since this wind blew through, it's been a fly line bait that has really been working well in that zone. Down there around the rock pile, you have North Island, you have the Middle Grounds, you have South Island. South Kelp Ridge runs you down to the pile, and that's where the yellows have been. About a 3-hour, 2.5-hour run from Point Loma to get you down there for most of the boys, and then you are on those fish, and it's been pretty darn exciting. Out there at San Clemente Island, and once again, it's windy here today, so we're probably not going to get any reports out of there. Clemente, we've seen an influx of squid, and of course, when you see an influx of squid, you see predators right behind it, and guys that are fishing dropper loop out there have been coming up with some nice hits on some big yellowtail. And Mananasan was out recently on board the Migo. Fred, I hope I didn't butcher your name too terribly there with a great big yellowtail. Nice hit for Fred. Way to go. And also, we have seen some nice fish being taken on dropper loop with a live squid on board the Fury here recently. So hopefully that's going to continue to head in the right direction. Catalina Island. Big old rockfish right now on board the El Patron, the Pursuit, the Freelance, and several other boats here in Southern California. You've been fishing that cod. Check out those lings on board the Freelance on recent trips. Big, beautiful rockfish biting out there at Catalina Island. Remember, we're fishing 300 feet or deeper right now, so you've got to fish that deeper water to make it happen. And man, I'll tell you, 16-ounce torpedo sinkers are what you're going to need. Of course, on a day like this, you probably need about 5 pounds of lead to hit bottom. But once again, when the weather calms down, the boys get back out there, it's going to be a 16-ounce torpedo sinker. It's been quite good on the big cod. Regs demand that you fish 300 feet or deeper right now. I love it because you're catching nice big rockfish. No question about it. El Patron headed to Catalina Island this weekend. You can jump on board by going to www.longbeachsportfishing.org. Get on the El Patron up there in the Channel Islands. Really great rock fishing up there. There's been the occasional halibut also. The Aloha Spirit and several other guys have had some of that on board the Gentleman Adrian Arcadia with some big old goats. Nice viejas. Big sheephead for Adrian here recently. So some nice big goats and good whitefish, occasional halibut, but mostly the big rockfish. If you're headed to Ventura Sport Fishing or you're headed to the Channel Islands, you're going to want to jump on board the Island Spirit. They've got some great weekend trips up there for you. Sunday, kids fish free. Saturday should be a wonderful day. Island Spirit. Give them a call at 805-676-3474 or go to VenturaSportFishing.com. Santa Barbara, Avila Beach, Morro Bay. Too much wind right now, but there has been great rock fishing. San Francisco, big rockfish when the weather permits. There's still big bluefin offshore there also. All right, let's talk a little bit about what's going on along the surf here. And, well, actually, before we do that, 1/2 and 3/4 day trips, let's talk that. We see mostly that rockfish up and down the coast right now, starting in San Diego, running you all the way up to the Channel Islands. There has been the occasional hit on a yellowtail or a halibut or, you know, some nice sheephead and whitefish, but most of the guys are out in that deeper water fishing the cod right now and doing quite well out of San Diego, out of Oceanside, out of Davies Locker, Newport Beach, Dana Wharf. You know, all the Southern California venues have been producing. There might be some decent twilight bass fishing this weekend out of Marina del Rey, contingent, of course, upon the weather and what it does. So we'll keep our eyes on that and see where we go from here, but mostly rockfish for those guys. In the Southern California surf, we continue to see some pretty good fishing, but not on days like this. It's downright dangerous. I'm looking at the jetty over here, and you just don't want to be on there. You could get knocked off the jetty into this turbulent ocean, and that could be a disaster. So be very, very careful. Big fish bait and tackle down there on the corner of Seal Beach Boulevard and Pacific Coast Highway. They've got all the bait you'll need. They're your surf fishing headquarters here in Southern California, but they've got big game stuff also. So once again, they'll have all the bait you'll need to be successful here in the surf. This should lay down beautifully for tomorrow morning. I'll bet tomorrow morning is going to be a great surf fishing day in Southern California. And we might see more barred perch with this water temp kind of cooling down. Down around Huntington Beach, we've seen some good barred perch fishing. Also, occasional corvina down there, some yellowfin croaker in here. The last time we fished it with some barred perch, there's been some halibut taken up in the Long Beach area on the Lucky Craft type of lures. And also, as we continue to move you up, Santa Monica Bay, some decent corvina fishing around the Topaz Rock Jetty and up around El Segundo. However, we are experiencing a drop in water temperature, so we'll see if they transition into more of a barred perch bite. Don't forget, walk into Big Fish Bait and Tackle, purchase the ruler that you'll need to measure your prize catch with, and you're automatically enrolled for a new custom surf fishing rod to be given away every month for the largest fish. The species changes every month. You can find out more at Big Fish Bait and Tackle, and that's all you have to do is buy that ruler, and then you're in the tournament every single month. Hats off to our dear friend Robert Graber, who is an extraordinary Friedman Adventures family member, does so much for the Friedman Adventures cause. We love you, Robert, and he is reporting that 5,000 white sea bass fingerlings were delivered to the Channel Islands grow out pen, with even more being delivered tomorrow. My thanks to Robert and all the great volunteers for the hard work and dedication they are putting in to make our ocean's environment better and more vibrant, and really, really great stuff. Robert, thanks for sharing that. All right, my friends, what can I tell you? Absolutely stunningly gorgeous morning here. The Dodgers play again tonight. It's Halloween on Thursday. And of course, Dia de los Muertos is coming up in Mexico Lindo, a really lovely celebration that I might run down there and take part in. I love spending Dia de los Muertos south of the border. We'll see if I can make time to do that. In the meantime, have a great morning. As always, it's wonderful to be with you, and I hope to see you really, really soon.